Final notice to LARACROFT, a current tenant of premises. This is to serve as your final notice for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor somewhere. Dad's safe. Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep, looks real. Roth once offered to forge me a fake diploma to show Dad.
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite unexpectedly. But it shouldn't have been, it seems. I've been so buried in my...
My parents made a good team, challenging each other from the start. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting. My penmanship was pretty good. Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb. Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research.
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I am.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did. A picture with Dad and Anna. Never liked wearing dresses, but the color was nice. This is probably my grandfather Benjamin. One of Dad's Yoruba masks, a gift from a friend he met on an expedition in Nigeria. The door to the library. Locked. There's got to be another way through. This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages. Wait, I can get to the library through the old servants' corridor. Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always loved looking at these. Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to Egypt.
Hi, Dad. I've been thinking about Mum lately. I wish I knew more about her.
Lara, I've reviewed the report from your therapist. I have to say I was surprised to see a clean bill of health.
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, I won't be boring your sword this time. The Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see.
We've been through this.
Was
Locked.
Mum's room in
Need a
here?
key to open this. Dad was always so protective of the West Wing. This belongs to Anna. Most of her belongings are in the guest house. What was she doing in here? Someone has a sense of humor. A phoenix figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality, of rising from the ashes and being born anew.
What are you doing sitting there on the floor, Mistress Lara?
Looking at the compass, thinking.
What about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer. But don't grow up too fast.
The offer came in the post last week, and I still haven't told Richard. He flew ahead to Tibet.
I'm not sure. I really need to brush up on my ancestors one of these days. Got to remember to pack this for my next trip. Should be able to explore the dark now. Hey, Jonah. Sorry for not getting back to you sooner.
Lara, since your return from your expedition to Yamatai, I've grown increasingly alarmed at your erratic behavior. I can only assume...
Another one of Dad's immortality artifacts. I think Roth bought this for him from a trader in Greece.
Amelia, the news has reached Mother. She knows that you broke off your engagement with the Earl of Farringdon. She is beside herself with worry.
Falling apart. Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
They say a good test of a relationship is how well you travel together. Well, I'd say Amelia...
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
Amelia, I know we have had our differences in recent years. I've tried my best to keep an open mind about your relation.
Still just as creepy as I remember.
I'm at a crossroads now. Good Lord, that's such a cliche. But there's truth in it. 2 roads before me. Both...
Everything is almost ready for Mistress Lara's birthday expedition surprise. It's been a bit...
This is it! The basement of despair!
Indeed, Lara. Muster your courage, for this is the only path to the Library of Infinite Knowledge.
Look there! See the string?
An ancient Egyptian tripwire. The keepers of knowledge want none to disturb their treasures. We must tread carefully.
Let me lead. I know how to spot all the traps.
I'm sure you do, my darling. Lead on!
Dad loved a good bottle of wine. I can still smell his favorite Bordeaux.
My lord, I hope this missive finds you on a successful expedition and in good health. Before I bore you with estate affairs...
Poor Winston. I remember being so angry. He was always so patient with me.
King to Queen 1. I'm going to win this time, Winston.
Clever girl. But you should know by now, winning isn't everything. Queen to King's Bishop 6. Check.
Easy for you to say. You always win. Knight takes Queen.
What I mean to say is try to enjoy the journey, Lara. Don't rush to victory. Bishop to King 7.
I know, Winston. I just want... Oh no! I didn't even see that!
You should also know by now, I'm not to be trifled with on this board, young lady. Mate.
Oh, I am going to win. Someday.
I would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him. I always chose white. Maybe if I let him go first once in a while, I might have won. One of the wire traps Winston made for my birthday expedition. Water damage from the main hall above. My stuffed bear. I couldn't have a tomb without a mummy. plans for adding electricity to the manor. Dad used to say his granny hated all the bright lights. There's a missing page.
Amelia left tonight. She packed her suitcase and walked right out of here, and I didn't even notice. Like those days in the Oxford Library before we even met. I just had my nose in a book, lost in my own world. I am such a fool.
Okay, Dad's ledger has to be in here somewhere. Hopefully it has the combination to the safe.
I've created a clever little map for Lara's birthday expedition. I used the invisible ink Amelia picked up for me in Morocco so many years ago. At the time, I remember being so annoyed by that rather aggressive street vendor, but she just smiled in her sunny way.
I always accepted that Richard's rather unorthodox research was just something I had to live with. But this time, the thrill of discovery has taken...
This music is familiar. It's beautiful. It appears Sir Reginald's helmet fell off. Or didn't I put it back properly? Took quite a tumble off of this old thing when I was a girl. Still feel it in the shoulder from time to time.
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you fool. Lara's expedition treasure. My favorite painting by Amelia. The day of our wedding anniversary.
Okay, got to find those objects to figure out the combination to the safe. There's something else here. Dad's lighter. I don't remember him ever using it, though. The Croft family crest and initials PC. Okay, should be able to light the fireplace now.
I've reached the monastery. As Roth predicted, it was hidden deep in the Himalayas. And now that I'm standing on these high stone walls,
Dad was looking for an elixir. Was it the elixir of life? This is my handiwork. I used to love drawing pictures of tigers. Spent so many hours in here, reading, dreaming of my own adventures. I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs.
Now, let me see. These two myths are referencing the same source material. But where did I see this image?
Dad, I think it's this one, in the chapter on Egyptian districts.
Why, yes, I think you're right, Lara.
I remember the page with the illustration of Ra.
My goodness, you've been paying attention, haven't you? This could be an important breakthrough.
Does this mean I'm your research assistant?
That and more, my darling girl.
Takes me back. Those were good times. The best times. This was always one of my favorite books in this library. I used to trace hieroglyphs. One of Winston's notes. He always hid sweets for me to find. Blank, except for the image of a key. I remember this map now. It leads to the master key, but we made it with a special kind of invisible ink. It could only be seen with the heat of a fire. I think I stashed one of Winston's master keys in here when I was a kid. This picture was taken in the library. I can see the map. Looks like the key is hidden under a trunk near the bookcase. X marks the spot, as they say. The master key. This should get me into the West Wing. All right, This should open most rooms in the manor, including the forbidden West Wing. The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6? 8? I think this hieroglyph corresponds to a number. The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6? I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs. Okay, Dad's clues mention Mum's paintings and their anniversary. Hopefully I can find some answers in the West Wing. The Croft family crest.
Mistress Lara, I took the liberty of preparing a tray, as dinner did not go according to plans. I've included, in addition to your meal, a
Worse than I thought. This is strangely beautiful.
With Amelia gone, the manor is a different place. A dimness pervades, a quiet I can't stand. Even though Lara is too young to understand what has happened, she also senses the change. She's asked after her mother only once, and I'm afraid my reaction must have terrified her. I will need Winston more.
I believe it took this trip to push me over the edge. I've been able to see Richard in his element, seeing him at his best and his worst. I've experienced the purity and chaos of his passion, and I came to realize I want his passion in my life every day. So it's done. Richard wanted to wait another 4 days until my birthday, but
Amelia would not have approved. That alone should have been the end of it. But I am, as God made me, a stubborn fool. I locked all the West Wing's doors, and I shall not open them again until either my life or my...
At least that old thing still works.
I am bursting with pride. Amelia is with child. It is amazing how everything in life can change with such a simple event. Obviously, we don't know the gender.
Dad may have discovered the secret to immortality without even knowing it. Mum's wedding ring. I always wondered what happened to it. My mother's perfume. The smell. So familiar. I can almost remember her. Mum, on her wedding day, she looks so beautiful. There's a date, October something. Damn, the number is... There anniversary was in October. Which day? I can't believe I don't know this. There's got to be another clue somewhere. I remember this. Dad gave it to Mum on her birthday. October 13th, Mum's birthday. Pretty sure my parents were married in October. I think it was close to her birthday. This is Dad. I suppose it's a family tradition, but I can't imagine having one of these made of me.
After everything...
I think this was Dad's pocket watch. Looks like it stopped precisely at midnight.
done, how could you tell him about the expedition?
It's just all been too much. I needed to talk to someone. He's still my brother.
I don't trust him.
You don't have to, Richard, but please, trust me.
My lord, we all hope your work was well received at the conference and look forward to your return.
Mum's atelier. Dad sealed it soon after she died. Untouched for years, exactly as she left it.
I stood up to my family's criticism. Stood in defense of Richard and our love. But as my new life began in Croft Manor, doubt set in.
I don't have any memory of this. I wish I could remember doing this. Mum died too young. Mum with me as a baby. I've never seen this. Hard to believe I was ever that small. Mum's paintings. Which one was Dad's favorite?
I returned home this afternoon to collect the last of my paintings. I suppose I should say
Okay, back to the study to open that safe.
You've almost got it, darling. Here, let me show you. Like this, see? Well done, Lara. Well done.
I wonder how my life would have been different had she lived. I'm glad I still have so much of Mum's work.
Dad, what do you keep in there?
Nothing too important, Lara. Estate business and such.
If it's not important, then why bother putting it in a safe?
I should know better than to try and pull one over on you. There is something important in here, and it's for you, should you need it someday.
Well, let's hope you came through for me, Dad. Okay, found all the clues. Let's see if I can figure this out. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clue.
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you old fool. Lara's expedition treasure, my favorite painting by Amelia, the day of our wedding anniversary.
I believe it took this trip to push me over the edge. I've been able to see Richard in his element, seeing him at his best and his worst. I've experienced the purity and chaos of his passion, and I came to realize I want his passion in my life every day. So it's done. Richard wanted to wait another 4 days until my birthday, but I wouldn't have it. Once I make a decision, I prefer to get...
For God's sake.
I returned home this afternoon to collect the last of my paintings. I suppose I should say I returned to my family's home. Atlas was there, in one of his foul moods, and even as he dripped venom for Richard with his cruel barbs, I could only laugh. To think that I once listened to my bitter brother in matters of my own happiness. My dismissal only served to infuriate him more. I left him... I returned home this afternoon to collect the last of my paintings. I suppose I should say I returned to my family's home.
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you...
No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. No, that's not it. No, that didn't work. The answer has to be in the clues. that work? It makes me happy to know that Dad kept this safe. No, that's not what I'm looking for.
I am numb. It is taking all my willpower to hold back the overwhelming grief. Amelia's plane crashed in the mountains. She died alone in the snow, waiting for me to find her. Oh God, not her, not now. I cannot accept it. Life without her is too painful to imagine. I know what must be done, and I am resolved.
Dad, what did you do? Dad's sequel to his first book on immortality, he never got a chance to publish it. Handwritten. This is the only copy. Damn, this isn't it either. I was certain there had to be a will in here. Wait, what's that? A blank page. Dad must have left this for me. It has to be important. A hidden message. What are these strange marks? They have to be some kind of clue.
For God's sake, memorize.
A blank page. A hidden message. I remember this. I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs. A hidden message. I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs. Nope, that's wrong. The answer has to be on the page with the invisible ink. That worked. Damn, locked in. Did this open the secret door from the inside? Hope I'm not trapped in here. Did Dad build all of this just to keep his research safe?
The renovations are proceeding in secret. The work crew Roth hired for the job have been paid handsomely to keep the details of the job out of the records, so I'm fairly confident
The missing page from the renovation plans. They didn't want anyone outside the family knowing about this crypt.
My love, it is silent, so peacefully silent now. Even after the madness and chaos of the crash, I can't help but still wonder at the beauty of these mountains. I understand the magic that drew you here. Please know that I feel no pain in this moment, only immense sadness. Sadness that I couldn't see your smiling face once more. That I'll never meet the wonderful woman that our daughter will become. There is so much to say.
Mum faced death alone. She was so brave. Might be able to use this to access other parts of the manor. There's an inscription. This is the Croft universe. Our knowledge is to the east. Our respite to the west. Our future is to the south. Our past is to the north. Our past to the north. Could there be something else beneath the manor? Amazing. Even in here, Dad went out of his way to hide his findings. Dad's collected knowledge. There must be so many secrets hidden in here.
Richard, I tried to see you in person last week, but your manservant hustled me away like some common tout peddling silverware. He told me you were hot.
This was part of a set of statues Dad found in China. He thought it was linked to the temple of Xi'an. Perhaps I should look into it.
It's over. I have done all that I could, and my Amelia is still cold and dead. Roth first scowled at my designs. Then he pleaded with me not to go through with the ritual. Not because he feared it might work, but because he feared what I might do when...
You brought her home. She's here, somewhere. This bust of Anubis was from Dad's Egyptian collection. He must have put it down in the basement for our little expedition.
Hi, Dad. So I know I only just returned to school, but when can I come out to the dig site again? It's just so boring here. We're doing all the stuff I already read.
Lord Croft is resolved to seal the west wing of the manor. I try to talk sense.
Our knowledge is to the east, our respite to the west. Our future is to the south, our past is to the north. Incredible. This crypt was here all along.
I expected a sort of crushing finality to grip me when we returned to the manor to lay Amelia to rest. Indeed, once the last of my funereal duties were performed, I fully believed that I would crumple to the ground next to her.
My God, can it be? Dad, you did bring her home.
My dearest Lara, it is difficult to write this, knowing these may only ever be words on a page to you. I wonder if you will remember my voice. Will you remember the way we used to play and laugh? Will you remember me comforting you when you were sad? Know that I'm still with you, Lara. my energy, my love. It's within you. It always will be. Use that energy to pursue your passions in life. Never let others determine your journey. You become who you are through your choices, through the love you give and the promises you keep. I hope you are happy, that you are loved and successful in whatever it is you choose to do. I am proud of you, my darling. Remember me, with all my love, your mother.
What's this? A letter.
Lara, I have received the notarized affidavit confirming Amelia's grave and the discovery of the burial crypt within the manor premises. While I can't fathom why your father would hide your mother's fate from her own family, I cannot deny that any legal claims I may have had on the estate are now null and void. Croft Manor and the remainder of your father's assets are now yours in perpetuity.
I've been so focused on defying my uncle, of fighting to keep his hands off this manor, that I never realized how much this place actually means to me. But since I've been here, I can feel the presence of my mother and father. I sense the entire history of my family and the deep roots we have in this place. I want to honor my parents. I want to honor all of my ancestors. The Croft family may be all but destroyed, but I will make our name and our home great again.